Hello, everyone. Stand by. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest, and it's due to start in about 30 seconds. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. And as always, we're putting on content on here that will hopefully interest you in ham radio. Or if you're in ham radio, maybe interest you in something new to try. This is a simplex net, meaning that all of our radios are speaking directly to other radios. There is no repeaters or any kind of infrastructure between the two radios. So only people that are close enough that you can hear, you'll be able to hear. And of course, you can improve that with better radio equipment, better feed line, and of course, the number one thing, antenna.
One last time.
Okay, here we go. Stay with us. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest on Starship Adventures.
CQ. Welcome to the Cape Coral Gabfest. My name is Rick, and my call is W8KZT. I'll be your host this evening, this fourth Thursday of the month for the Cape Coral Gabfest. We meet here on 146.490 Simplex at 8 p.m. local time every Thursday, and we welcome any and all hams to join us. After check-ins, we go through 2 rounds of comments, so please remember to stick around for that second round. As always, you may discuss anything you like and also amateur-related items, and we also have a subject tonight. The subject tonight is going to be is if you had the opportunity to talk to any historical figure, who would it be, and maybe what would you discuss with them? So we'll now take check-ins at a slow speed and say your call and then your name, and we'll continue after a few, and we'll make sure we've got everything correct and proceed. This is W8KZT. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Control. Whiskey 4, Bravo Tango, Juliet, Tim in Fort Myers.
At Control, KO4 EFS, Ian in North Fort Myers.
November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel, John in Matlacha.
Kilo 4, Romeo Alpha Bravo, Rick in Fort Myers.
Okay, any further check-ins right at the moment?
Here is Alpha 4, Juliet Sierra, John.
KF6, F.
Kilo India 4, Golf Echo Delta, KR4 GED, Charles, East Fort Myers.
Well, Roger, we're sounding pretty good here. Looks like we've got W4 BTJ Tim, and also W6 Whiskey Tim also, and I can't remember Ian's number here, KO4 EFS, and we've got him and John. Let's see, N6 JDH John, K4 RAB Rick, AA4JS John, KF6 FJD. I'm trying to see who that was. KF6, that's Mike. Sorry about that, Mike. And also KI4JED, and that is our good buddy Charles. So any further check-ins this evening?
Control. KB4AR, Angelo, North Fort Myers.
Okay, is it correct? I had Angelo there, correct?
That is correct.
Roger that. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll get started here, and we'll take off right from the helm and let things roll. Nice, I think a subject tonight is pretty good and create a lot of interest with everybody and also some interesting responses. So let's take it off with Tim W4 BTJ. Go ahead.
Hey, Roger, Rick. I imagine, on the subject there, someone in history, I would really find it interesting to sit down and have a chat with Benjamin Franklin. and what his thoughts as far as a forefather would have went with the way our government is set up and works. And I think that would have been pretty interesting if he had been able to do that in today's world, the way it's going.
Yeah, roger that. For anyone that didn't hear what Tim had to say, his figure would have been Ben Franklin, and just to talk to him about how he set up the government and everything, and see what things would be like today. But yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, Ben Franklin might pull that rest of the hair that he had if he knew what was going on previous to this regime. So we'll see what happens there. So, all right. Well, next one's up, Tim W6, WWW. Good evening.
All right, guys, I try every week to get Triple Whiskey, and I can't get him. He's just down in the noise so far. You can't even hear him, unfortunately. I'm trying. No, he's just bumping the first couple of little lights there, and that's it. I can't quite get him, so we'll go ahead and squelch up till he's done. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest. And I am live tonight in Starship Studios in Southwest Florida, where we are monitoring live on my 40-foot antenna and participating in the Cape Coral Gabfest here in Southwest Florida on 146.490 megahertz. That's simplex, 146.490 megahertz, anywhere in Southwest Florida, or anywhere for that matter. If you'd like to try to reach us, give us a call on 146.490 megahertz on simplex, no PL. And we like this simplex net. It gives everybody a chance to test their radios and all that kind of good stuff. And it gives us the ability to know who we're going to be able to talk to in an emergency. And I think that's important. On the radar, we're monitoring a developing situation near Brownsville. No tornado warnings at this time, but we are monitoring 3 severe thunderstorm warnings at this time there. So I'm keeping the radar trained over there because there's nothing going on at this time in Florida.
Well, thanks so much. Is there anyone that did not hear Tim?
I don't copy him out here.
Hotel that was very intermittent.
Okay, well, let's see. John, I'll tell you what he said. He was talking about the contest coming up on HF with the single sideband contest, the CQ magazine contest, and also his person that would be of most interest to him to talk to would be King Solomon, and discuss about the baby issues that they had between the two women. So that was his program this evening. So, okay, I think that's pretty much it. If there's anything else you need to say there, Tim, from W6WWW, come back now, and then I'll turn it over to Ian.
All right, I think he's about the only station we won't be able to get tonight, but we are able to get him, unfortunately.
Roger that. Okay, well, John, he's saying, Tim's saying he's not hearing you like he normally does. So we'll have to check it out and see what your signal sounds like. So we'll get to you in just a moment. So we'll turn it over to Ian, KO4 EFS. Good evening, Ian.
Say that I can hear everybody but Triple Whiskey. I don't know why I'm having a hard time hearing him, but I'm trying. We're on YouTube, broadcasting live, Starship Adventures. Got it going out, and see if we can get some interest in the chat room tonight. If you guys are in there while the net's going on, feel free to chat as well in there. Who would I like to meet? Well, that doesn't take me long to figure that one out. I've always wanted to get Thomas Edison and put him in my Ford and take him around town and show him how far we've come, you know. I've always been a light freak. I like lights more than I like radios. It's kind of sick. I got LED lights of every frequency, and I'm even looking at doing communication with light and stuff. And so, plus he is responsible for a lot of other things we use every day as well. And I just it would have to be Thomas Alva Edison, the inventor of so many wonderful things, and that would be who I would choose. As far as my ham radio activity this week, made a bunch of contacts on my Kenwood TR751A that I bought from the club. Great radio. It's a 2-meter all mode, and I've been doing upper sideband on 144-200 when there's openings and having a great time with that. I'll pass it to the second round, KO4 EFS.
Well, super, Ian. Sounds like you've been having a lot of fun. And the Starship thing on YouTube, boy, talk about a great idea. And, boy, you pulled off a very nice program there. So, Thomas Edison, what a great guy. And, you know, that would be very interesting to talk to these guys that really were the backbone of America and built things that got everything rolling. So it's very interesting. Watch a television show about a lot of that stuff, especially like the Carnegie guy, the steel mills, and Edison and all those guys. That was so interesting. It was kind of riveting. Couldn't get away from it. So super. Is there anyone else that did not hear Ian? And I'll come back. Okay, well, nothing heard. That's terrific, Ian. You're getting out great. So we'll turn it over to John, N6, JDA.
It's cool. Everybody can hear me. That's awesome.
Good evening, Net Control. Whiskey 8 Kilo Zulu Tango. Rick, appreciate you doing the net tonight. Well, considering that April 19th was the 250th anniversary of the shot heard around the world, I would very much like to go back and, because there's not much known about what he wrote in the Federalist Papers, but George Washington would be the one I would like to sit down and have a conversation with. I know through the French and Indian Wars, and then through the American Revolution, and of course to go on to be the first president of the United States, but I would really appreciate sitting down with him. My fourth great-grandfather was with him at Valley Forge the winter of '77, when it was a brutal winter, and to survive, some of them ate the leather off their shoes. But anyway, that's who I would like to talk to, and back to Net Control.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, John, to have a relative that was working side by side and actually doing a lot of stuff with George Washington. That's really great. And yep, there's another one. History, and made it work. So, anyone else on there did not hear John this evening?
No, I didn't hear him.
Yeah, Rick, I didn't hear him out here either. W4BT chain.
Okay. Well, Angelo and Tim out and by the airport didn't hear you, John. So, I'll just do a real quick relay here. 419 was the shot heard around the world he was mentioning, and also he would love to have the opportunity to talk to George Washington, and also he had, I guess, a long lost, or not lost, but long-term relative back in the day that actually worked side by side or fought side by side with George Washington. So that was John's response this evening, and sounds pretty good. So, okay, anything else going on right now? We'll take a quick break here, and if we have any other check-ins.
Additional comments?
Go ahead.
He was actually at Lexington and Concord, too. He was 15 and a half years old. He was born on Christmas Day, 1760, and his name is Jonathan Hunt, and he's buried in our family cemetery. Back to Net.
Roger that, John. Well, a few people wouldn't have heard that, but his grandfather, I guess the relative, also fought in Lexington and Concord, and was 15 years old when he got involved with that, and he was born on Christmas Day in 1760. So, wow, that's some great history there. So super. All right. Well, is there anything else or anybody else that would like to check in at the moment? We'll take a break a second. Okay, nothing heard. So we'll turn it over to Rick. K4RAB, correct. Rick, what's up?
Okay, it's K4RAB. Yeah, I think my choice would be Thomas Jefferson. It would be interesting to speak with him about the current situation in this country. Without being political or anything, it would certainly be interesting to get his ideas about solving some of the problems we're having in this country today. I think he might not like the way things have gone in the recent years in the country. So anyway, and as for Ian talking about working 2-meter sideband, that gives me an idea for something else I can do with my IC 7100. It'll do the same thing. So with that, back to net, K4REB.
Roger that, Rick. I guess I'm going to take for granted everybody heard him. And he also mentioned something about he's going to get his other radio out after Ian mentioned working the single sideband, upper single sideband on 2 meters at 144-200 on his Kenwood TR-751A. So I guess Rick's going to resurrect something else and get something else going on the radio and make it a little more interesting. Well, super, Rick. Thanks for your input. And his best man and one that he was very interested in was Thomas Jefferson. And he just wants him to know or see how it is today, and how his ideas of what might be able to be solved for today. So, Rick, thanks very much for the input. Appreciate that. And we'll turn it over to John. That's AA4JS. Good evening, John.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good to hear you on here. Excuse me for the cough. Interesting stuff some of you have come up with. Personally, I would come with somebody newer, and actually there are two that come into me. One of them is oh gosh, pronounce this right. I want to say Payson Grissom, but that's not right. But he was one of the early trace guys, and was actually killed in a practice. Interestingly enough, he grew up about 50 miles away from me. The other one would be Armstrong, because him being the first one on the moon, and things I've read and stuff about him, those two guys have brought more science to this country than that I enjoy anyway. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of science, of course, but these are the ones that I like. So there you go. Couple of astronauts, and I really enjoy reading about them. Back to you from AA4JS. Did I lose you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about an idiot. I had the other radio, my HF radio, my mic switch pressed, and I'm talking away, and then you said that. So excuse me. Boy, I'm tell you what. Anyway, John is mentioning Grissom and also Armstrong, and John Armstrong, he had a nice engineering type job and like teaching a lot of people at the Aircraft Engine Group, and that was from General Electric Aircraft Engine Group in Evendale, Ohio, and that was just prior to his passing. And it was really neat to go up and see the museum that they had up there in central Ohio, just off of I-75. If anybody's gone up and down through there, they would have seen the dome just to the west side of the expressway. Pretty neat place. So that was a great idea there, John. Thanks. So okay, well, next one will be Mike, KF6FJD.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, for me it would probably be the obvious one, Jesus Christ. Probably have 1,000 questions for him. The second one would probably be Maya Angelou, great American poet. Very, very interesting person. Lived a very interesting life. And then the third one would be Jimi Hendrix. Just to be able to sit in his presence and watch him work the fretboard. So way ahead of his time, even compared to today's rock aficionados. He's a great musician. Anyways, back to Net Control, KF6FJD.
Did the same thing again, pressed the wrong button there. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, that was my pick also for Jesus, because everybody has 1,000 questions, but you know he's always said you shouldn't need to ask. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, Michelangelo and Jimi Hendrix, yes sir. Jimi Hendrix, one of the greatest. I'll tell you another one that was like Jimi Hendrix and great on the guitar is Joe Walsh. A lot of people overlook him, and man, he was fantastic. So okay, looking good here so far. Just for a real quickie before we get to you, Charles, is there any additional check-ins? Nothing heard. Charles, KI4JED. What you got going on, Charles?
Well, good evening, Rick, and everyone on the net. Thanks for taking the net tonight, doing a great job. I can't answer your question. I don't know anybody I'd want to talk to. Just good question, though, and it's very interesting on everybody's answer there. The next swap shop is April 12th. That's the second Saturday of April. Now, this coming Saturday, there's a ham fest up in Bradenton. It's called the Marcy Fest. It's not a big one, but it's a nice little ham fest. It's only a little over an hour away. So more than likely, that's where we're headed this weekend for the ham fest in Bradenton. So at the end of April, I think there's another one. Oh, in the middle there, I forget what date it was, but there's a ham fest in Tampa, Tampa Amateur Radio Club's going to have theirs again. They have it 2 or 3 times a year. So, sorry I don't have an answer to the question, but it's a good question, and I'll turn it back to you, Rick. W8KZT, this is KI4GED.
Well, thanks, Charles. Super. Well, okay, now Tim, you know when the next swap shop is, April 12th, so super. And we'll be looking forward to doing that, too. Also, Charles mentioned the Ham Fest in Bradenton, and also there's a Tampa Ham Fest sometime coming up soon. So that's it. He didn't have any specific one that he wanted to talk about, so we'll turn it over to Angelo, and maybe Angelo's got half a dozen or so. KB4AR. How about it, Angelo?
Yeah, good evening to the net. Yeah, interesting subject tonight. I would like to meet the Wright brothers and get their perspective on how their invention has advanced over the last 122 years. And that would expand my knowledge. I've met several other people throughout aviation history over the years that a lot of firsts and test pilots especially that I've personally knew. And I think that would be very interesting for me anyway. Not much ham-wise today. I was on today. I managed to work Africa a couple times, so that was a lot of fun. Anyways, I'll turn it back to the net. KB4AR.
Okay there, Angelo. Terrific. Well, Wright Brothers is a good one. That would be a terrific one, and a lot of fun to talk to those guys. Wright Brothers Air Force Base is up there in right around the Xenia area, and it's actually, I guess it's right between Xenia, Springfield, and that Dayton area. So anyway, boy, that's a neat place to be. If you've ever gone up there or get to go through the museum, it'd be fantastic. And test pilots, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, they'd have a lot to say about some of the stuff that they've flown and made evaluations on for sure. Okay, well, we've come to the end of the first round, and do a real quick check if we have any further check-ins, and then we'll turn it back over to the second round. nothing heard. So, okay, we're back to Tim. W4 beat TJ. What do you got going for second round?
Everybody on the net. We discussed who we'd like to talk to, but I have been blessed this week. Had some really good DX on 20 meters, everywhere from SSB on phone. I've worked a few stations in the Middle East, from Kuwait to Saudi Arabia, and really impressed with that. Conditions today seem to be weird, but was able to make some POTA contacts and worked quite a few POTA stations. Looking forward, maybe soon be able to get out and do a POTA activation myself. I bought a radio to do just that with it, and never have been able to get out and enjoy it. But got a perfect little Yaesu FT450D here. Got a fiberglass mast and antenna and everything all set up, and just now to put it to use. But we'll have to see what happens with that. Back to control, W4BTJ.
Okay, Tim, super. I know there's a few that can't hear you or get broke up there, but Tim had something to say for good DX this week on 20 meters. Had several Middle East contacts. Said the conditions were pretty weird. So also he's looking forward to doing maybe some POTA activations when he's feeling a little better. Got him a new FT450 AD or B, something. I couldn't read what I wrote down here. But also that'd be good for getting out and getting some fresh air, Tim. And I think hopefully you don't wait too long and it'll be so blasted hot you can't stand it. Maybe I'll take a fan with you for sure. So, okay, that's the round 2 start for Tim, and then we'll turn it over to W6, WWW. Round 2 for Tim. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, so we can't hear Triple W, so let me just use this opportunity to speak to everybody. Hey, Victor and Peggy and David, my regulars coming in, I appreciate that. This is the Cape Coral Gabfest on Starship Adventures. We're broadcasting live tonight from North Fort Myers from Starship Studios. From 40 feet in the air from a Comet GP9, we are receiving the Simplex Net from all over Southwest Florida. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be here every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. to do this whenever we're able to do it, which is pretty much most of the time. We also try to hit every single Sunday at 7:30. We have the Cape Coral Gabfest, or I'm sorry, the Sanibel Loggerhead Net. And I try to hit that one every week as well. So thanks for being here tonight and continue chatting. We've just started the second round. This is that same operator, Triple Whiskey. He's pretty far away, and I'm not able to hear him here on my radio. So they'll relay here in just a second most of what he's saying. But again,
okay,
thank you for
Tim,
being
thanks
here.
So much for round 2 there. And Tim also added Isaac Newton in there. And he'd love to have the opportunity to talk with him because Tim himself is a civil engineer, so he'd probably get along really good with Isaac Newton and Newton's Law. So hopefully that'll work. All right, well, we'll turn it over to Ian, K04EFS. Go ahead for round 2 there, Ian.
K04EFS. Yeah, I got to tell you, I got a lot going on. First, before I forget everything, Joseph and I are looking, we're putting together this big network and everything, and it's going well. We're looking for Roan 25 and Roan 45 tower. We will come and take it down. We can even pay a modest price, but we're looking for Roan 25 and Roan 45. And if there's anything else you're selling, let us know, because we're buying all kinds of stuff right now. We're putting up all kinds of cool stuff. So if you got anything out there, let us know. And let's see, I knew I would forget the other things. I did want to mention the K-index is up to 3, And the solar flux is down to 153, so the conditions aren't really good tonight. The geomagnetic field's a little bit unsettled, but so not really too good tonight. And on 2 meter, we've got this strange opening that keeps opening up between Mobile, Alabama and Tampa, but it's a light opening, and it's just coming on and off. It's not a real good one tonight, but I watch for it. The openings seem to be happening late morning and mid-evening. Late morning and mid-evening for 2 meter openings. And remember, the 2 meter opening, that's tropospheric ducting. It has nothing to do with ionospheric skip, which is what we do on the HF. So you gotta pull up that vhf.dxview.org in order to make sure that you've got the right, if you're going to do the 2 meter, to make sure that you're getting the APRS reports on the 2 meter and not HF. Anyway, I think that's what I had. Thanks to the club for selling me that radio. I have had a lot of fun with 2 meter sideband. There's more people on there than you think. We bought a 5-element 2 meter Yagi that I've got horizontally polarized and facing about 345 degrees. Joseph hung it for me because I don't do much tower climbing anymore. That's what I've got. It's good hearing everybody. KO4 EFS.
Hey, that's pretty cool, Ian. Glad you're doing really good there. As far as towers, may want to talk to John, AA4JS. He's got one that's a pretty nice tower for an extremely good price. So I think you need to talk with him. I'm sure everybody else heard you, so we'll turn that back over to John. N6JDH. Go ahead, John.
Hey, appreciate that net control. I've just been doing a lot of POTA lately. Actually did really well today on 10 and 20 and 15. I got the very northern top of the Northwest Territory of Canada, and then I've got all the way down to Chile and Venezuela and a few others down there. But anyway, it's been pretty good. Yesterday was not good for any of the bands, but was very, very bad. But anyway, back to net. That's what I'm up to. A lot of POTA.
All right. Well, it sounds like you'd had a pretty interesting week then with all those contacts. That's pretty good. For those that did not hear John, he was mentioning that he had great POTA activations, or actually POTA huntings, I guess, on 10, 20, and 15, and had a lot of contacts. Also, he had a lot of contacts in Northwest Canada territory and also down into the South America, Chile area, and had some really decent QSOs. So, super. Good luck, John. Sounds like you're really hitting it pretty good. I guess he said that the conditions kind of stunk yesterday, but they were doing good today. All right, well, we'll turn it over. Next is Rick, K4RAB. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, it's K4RAB. Not too much to say for this go-round, but it's been interesting to listen to who all people would like to meet. It's like I said, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to just one. So, because there's a lot of it, very interesting people, like all the people involved with the development of radio, would be very interesting too. Just lots of them. So anyway, I can't think of anything else right now, so I'm just going to pass it on back to Net. Been an enjoyable net to listen to. This is K4RAB.
All right, Rick. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate your input and everything, and I hope you have a great evening. All right, we'll turn it over to John, AA4JS. Go ahead, John.
Okay, well, a lot of interesting stuff, and you know, there is one thing that you guys talked about. That I do regularly. I try to talk to Jesus every day, and so there you go. Oh gosh, there was something. The gentleman talking about FT 405 and going out in POTA. Do that. That's so much fun. You know, I've been a little unwell myself, I did drive up one afternoon, and a friend of mine, John, was up there, and I went up and saw him for a bit, and I think I'm about almost feeling ready to go up there and do one myself. I didn't understand you talking about that, whether this is something new for you or something you've done before and just been sick. But I can tell you, if you're new to this, John and some other people too, but John especially because he goes out a lot, would probably be willing to help you and get you started if you're doing the first time. Anyway, that's about all I've got. So back to you from AA4JS.
Okay, John. Yeah, okay, real for sure. I'll tell you who that was. That was Tim. That's W4BTJ. And Tim, did you get what John was saying there? Go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. Thank you, John. Yeah, it's just been something I wanted to do, and before they discontinued this radio, I bought one, and finally, I've loaned it to a few people to play with, that were having trouble with their radios while it's in the shop. But yeah, it's mainly just set here in a box, and I thought, I bought the mast and everything, and had it all ready to go, but just never have been up to getting out there and enjoying it. But maybe this summer or this spring sometime, starting to get a little better, and we'll see what we can do there, John.
Okay, I hope you do. I enjoy the heck out of it, and there's a club group that goes out as a group that sometimes there's 5 or 6 or 7 of them out together, and in my opinion, there are a lot you can look at, but it may be overdone or anyway, to go with one guy that does a lot of it, that is willing to get out and show you and teach you, to me that makes more fun. And because they're going to give more picture on you and teach you those things. So and John would be an excellent guy to do that, I can tell you, or I would when I'm out there feeling better. Anyway, I've said enough. Back to you.
Okay, John. Well, super. So, Tim, you're all set up. I'll tell you, between these two Johns up here, you would be dealing with the best POTA guys, I'm telling you. I've seen both of them at work, and man, I'll tell you, they can really make it happen, and they can really show you how to make it work and work perfect. So hopefully you can get together with them. Okay, for round 2, we're looking at Mike, KF6FJD. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, for still on the original question, for me, it would be Adam from Adam and Eve, and then of course I would love to have spoken to Jesse Owens. What that must have felt like during that time period. So anyways, back to Net Control. This is KF6FJD.
Roger that. Oh, that's super, Mike. For those that didn't hear Mike, I'm sure he's got a pretty strong signal. Adam from Adam and Eve would be a good one. And then also Jesse Owens. Yeah, that would be a very good one. And get his perspective on back then when he was one of the first historical black athletes. I think he was just fantastic. So, super, that would be good. So, okay, next one up would be Charles. What do you got to add this evening, Charles?
Well, good evening again, Rick and everybody on the net. I was just looking how the second Saturday of April is Swap Shop, and it's also the Tarks Fest. So I may not be at the swap shop at all in April, because I know the 25th or 26th I got something going the last Saturday of the month, if that's the fourth Saturday. So I'm probably going to miss the swap shop a whole month of April. But the swap shop will still be there. So I don't have anything else to add. Let's see, I'm not sure who's going to do the net. If there's anybody else who wants to get on the rotation, or I can do it next week. If anybody else doesn't volunteer, I'll take the Cape Coral Gabfest next Thursday night. So that's it, 7-3. Everybody have a safe week, and we'll send it back to net control. W8KZT. KZT. Let's see, I'll send it back to you. Thanks again for taking the net, Rick. This is KI4GET.
Well, no problem at all. Love doing it, Charles. Always said I could do it. Won't be able to do it forever, but I mean all the time, but we'll definitely give it a whirl. But is there anyone else in the rotation? We got Ian, Angelo, John, that's N6GHD, and also Rick, K4RAB. Anyone else that would like to do next week, or if Charles, we can just let Charles go ahead and then take someone else for the following.
Reach contact.
I'm sorry, what was that, Charles?
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I don't know if Angelo's done it yet or not. KV4AR, have you done the net yet, and are you willing to try next week on the net?
Yeah, at the moment I'm kind of hit and miss on whether I'll be able to be on the net at all.
Okay, I didn't get all that. I think he wasn't available. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said it was kind of hit or miss whether he'd be available at all to do, the net as far as running it. So, we'll check back with him a little bit later.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do it next week. No problems, Rick, on that. So I'll send it back to you. W8KZT. This is KI4GET.
Okay, Charles. Well, super. Well, the last one on the list for the second go-round is Angelo. How about you go?
Alrighty, well, let me add two names to people I'd like to talk to. Of course, Marconi and Tesla. I think Tesla would be a really interesting conversation. And, talking about HF was pretty good today. My contact of the day was Namibia on 12 meters. So rather happy to get that. I don't get into Africa very often. So anyway. I'll say 7-3 to everybody, and I'll be here listening. Back to net, KB4AR.
Okay, Angelo, super. Was there anyone that didn't catch Angelo? Okay, nothing heard. Well, my people, just to make a follow-up here at the end, the topic was any historical figure that you would like to either have a QSO with or at least to talk to. I've got two of them. One was Gordon Lightfoot. Gordon Lightfoot was an amateur radio operator up in Canada, and I heard him on here about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years, just prior to him. I think he passed away about a year or so after that. But I had heard him on there, and I thought, man, as soon as I get my license and get going, I'm going to try to get him, because I looked it up to make sure that it was him, and for a fact it was. So I would have loved to have been able to talk to him. And the other one is that I really admired a ton of was President Ronald Reagan when he was president. I mean, he was such a down-to-earth person and had all of his ducks in a row. And I always loved his statement when he was campaigning, and he said, well, there you go again. And I just love that, and I've used it forever. So, hey, what a great turnaround here tonight. And I think everything was really fantastic. A lot of great information, and I hope everybody enjoyed this evening, and be looking forward to next week, same time and same place. So before we go, is there any other further check-ins for the Cape Coral Gabfest this evening?
KA9TQC, check.
Well, Jack, you say KA9, is it QTC? Go ahead.
It's Tango, Quebec, Charlie, Southeast Cape, and I just tuned in and caught the end of it, and it was an interesting group to listen to tonight. And I would pick Ben Franklin.
Oh, super. Okay. Well, super, Jack. If anyone didn't hear Jack, I think he said KQ9, TAC or TOC, KQC, I'm sorry, or TQC. Gosh, I got my tongue tied up here. Anyway, his was Ben Franklin also, and yeah, that was Tim W4BTJ's choice also, and what a great choice. So super. Sorry you got in a little bit too late, but boy, you missed a great QSO this evening with everyone and having them say who they'd like to talk to. So anything else you'd like to further add there? Go ahead.
No, I caught this net one other evening and found it fascinating. I'm usually more active in the morning, but I'm working on a project here by the radio, so it just dawned on me to turn it on and listen. So thanks for the effort that you put into it. And 7-3, KA9, Tango, Quebec, Charlie.
Okay, Jack. Well, no problem. Well, thanks for joining in. We do start at about 8 o'clock every Thursday here at 146-490 Simplex. So definitely jump in next week. Charles will be running the net, and we'll be looking forward to hearing from you. So KA9TQC, this is W8KZT. And good evening to you, Jack. I was looking at what I wrote down here for Ben Franklin. But anyway, good evening to you, Jack, and good evening to everybody else. And thanks so much for tuning in and enjoying the round. I hope everybody had a great time. Until the next time, 7-3s to everyone, and we will turn this frequency back over to normal amateur radio use. Good evening to everyone, 73s. W4BTJ, you still there?
W8KZT, W4BTJ, good evening.
Hey, bud. Sounds like you're feeling pretty good, huh?
Well, I'm doing a lot better than what I was. Yeah, was having that blood pressure issue is way over 200, and they're finally getting it down a little. At least down to the 160 range. That's a lot better than 200 over 120.
Boy, you're very fortunate you just didn't have a stroke and stroke out.
Yeah. One day is, 218 over 124. So I was real lucky.
Yes, I would say so. Good Lord must be on your side there, buddy, for sure. So how's Sandy doing?
Well, they've got her scheduled. She's got 2 eye surgeries coming up, and well, hopefully it'll help a little. At least she's not blind.
Yeah, exactly that. Any little thing will make a big difference, really, to her, probably.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, she's been through all over having cataract surgery. They botched it up, and now it's been over 2 years. All these surgeries and thousands of dollars of medications. And the bad thing is you sign that waiver before you get it done, and they got you by the short hairs.
Yeah, I'll tell you, isn't that something else? And if you don't sign it, they won't do it. I mean, boy, it was CYA, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, they got to protect themselves. They know it's a possibility they can botch something up, and the eyes are so intricate.
Well, Tim, the way I look at it is, either you know how to do it or you don't, and if you don't feel confident in what you're doing, don't do it. Have somebody that is.
Well, they did fire the doctor, at least. He's no longer with them. But don't do us any good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now she has to suffer, and then all financials about it. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know. No matter what, you get turned upside down.
Oh yeah, and they had her on those darn eye drops. Was it every like 12 or 13,000 a month? Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think I might have pursued something as far as to get some financial support from them. Regardless, I think a lawyer could have seen through all that stuff.
Yeah, and how you and Deb doing? Everything going good for her? How's the arm?
Now, you wouldn't believe how well that went. They gave her a 3-month deal to where she figured they said it would take that long to recuperate from the surgery. Well, shoot, after 2 weeks, it was almost perfect. I mean, she'd only get a little bit of a glitch here and there, that would catch maybe a little bit. But now, I mean, I'm not even hear her complaining. And she's up in Ohio now. She flew up there last week to help out the stepson up there. And she's got a lot going on her mind and everything like that. But other than that, the surgery went, I'd say, fantastic.
Well, that's good. Real good. Yeah, glad to hear she's able to use it and not having any issues after the fact. So many times as we get older, a little surgery like that leaves you incapacitated for quite a while.
Yeah, well, that's what she was expecting because one of her friends, her daughter had that same thing done. And for 6 months now, she still had issues with it. So, Deb was concerned about that, but it certainly didn't turn out like hers. And obviously that was because of the surgeon. I mean, the guy we had was Tobin Hansen, and I'm telling you what, he is good. Now, he's the same one that did her hip. So she was pretty confident with him because of how that turned out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's good to hear. One of my friends up north had his knee replaced. It's been a couple of months. He's still having little issues with it, but hey, he is 75, so at least he's walking on it.
Yeah, that's good. But they say the knee is 10 times harder to recuperate from instead of the hip, and I've seen that for a fact, on most people. And I had one of our guys up there that was part of the 430 group, and he lived not too far from me over in Westchester. It was John W8ERE, and he had both his knees replaced, and the first one was a real bear, and the second one went a whole lot better, like half the time. But he had a heck of a time that first one.
Yeah, that was Dan's issue. He had his hip replaced, and he got the favor, and putting more on the other leg, and after he was trying to heal up there, and rumped the knee on that leg, so now he's having to have the knee replaced. So, that's what happens. I mean, we just get old and things don't work as well.
Yeah, I can go along with that. I'll tell you, I finally got my third set of shots on Thursday, 6 shots in the lower back, and I'm still not totally really good. Still got the aches in my legs, but by no means is it as bad as it was before I went. The sharp pains in my back have almost gone away, so that's a big plus. But if I could just get that issue with my knees and legs all straightened out, I'd be happy as ever. I'll tell you. It's debilitating. I mean, I can't do a whole lot. And also, I was out, as you know, I pick up trash up and down Santa Barbara here, and in our neighborhood, up and down our street. And, well, I went up there last night just to do something for about an hour, and when I got home, I thought I was going to die. I thought my legs hurt so bad. So apparently, so far, longevity is not in the future right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. And, well, I imagine getting out there and picking all that up is pretty rough, the way these kids throw things out their windows anymore.
Yep, I'll tell you, just this week, in 2 different days, some real brilliant one threw out a whole bag of McDonald's stuff, and it was one straight up the street from me, and then one on our street. And I'll tell you what, good gosh, if I ever see somebody do that, they'll never hear the end from me.
Cameras in his front yard, and he's got one on each side of his mailbox, so he can see the cars as they go up and down the street, and he can get license plate numbers. And I can assure you, our good sheriff knows him well. He definitely calls in when he sees someone doing something illegal.
Yeah, it's something. I wished I had something like that here, but you know what? That brings up another point, because I've been having very bad issues with, and since we've even moved here, with people just overly speeding up and down this road, because the road is a residential road. The speed limit is 30 miles an hour, and we know for a fact that there's people have been going up and down there at or above 100 miles an hour. I mean, I know that for a fact. I mean, you can tell by the way it looked when they went by that they were going that fast. And it's been something else. And that brings up another sore point, because just today I've also contacted the city of Cape Coral, somebody, trying to get speed limit signs. And I even told them, I said, just get me the sign in the post. I'll put it up. I don't need you to do it. I'm fully capable of putting it up and in the right place. I said, after Ian, I fixed most of the street signs and stop signs in this neighborhood, because they were all either on the ground, bent over, or something like that. And, you know, there's no way the street department was going to come up here and do it. I mean, there were stop signs down where people were crossing both ways, you know, with no stop signs. So I fixed all that stuff. And now they want me tomorrow to call this guy that's over the, I guess, the street department of some kind. But anyway, I got to call him tomorrow and see what we can do there. But today I also had issue with these guys. They come around these great big John Deere tractors with a drag mower, and they'll run over tortoises. They run over trash and tear it all to pieces. And, you know, I'm just to the point where I'm going to call my buddy James, which is over the trash pickup in Cape Coral. He and another guy are the only 2 guys that they employ to pick up the stuff in Cape Coral. So, you know, there's a lot of people like myself that volunteer to pick up a bunch of the stuff, so he really appreciates that. But, you know, I've come to the point where I'm tired of these people not doing their job and doing it right, where they could pick up the trash before they mow it and that kind of stuff. Even on Santa Barbara, I go out there sometimes after they've mowed. But I've realized or seen recently that some of these guys are picking up before they mow. And I see that on Pine Island Road, too. They're picking up before they mow. So maybe they're getting the point.
time, isn't it? Yeah, when they hit a McDonald's bag full of paper and garbage and everything, and they hit that, and it goes everywhere. What a mess! And that's an eyesore.
Yep. Just tonight, I went up our street just to the west. So I went up about four houses, and across the street from a good friend of ours, got a big open field. Well, that daggone mower went in there today and chewed up a whole bunch of papers and stuff like that, and it was everywhere. And you know what I did with it? Nothing. I left it.
Well, I can empathize with you. Yeah, so, our home up north is on a country road, and it goes right out about 1.5 miles, 2 miles to a high school. Guess what I get all the time?
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, them little critters like to just roll down the window and throw it out. And unfortunately, I'm on the passenger side as they kind of leave school, so that's where I get it.
It's a shame you can't be out there and, get the bus, if it's a bus or whatever, wherever they're throwing it out of, most likely it's a bus. You got to get the bus number, turn them in.
Oh, it ain't a bus. This is coming out of the cars. Yeah, it's out of the little fellas driving to school. But, yeah, they have a tendency, they like to throw it out the window. Water bottles, McDonald's bags, you name it. Sometimes, yeah, well. So I've got one of those pickers on my tractor there, and a garbage bag, and yeah, just pick it up before I run over it. You just no way to walk around and pick it all up, because there's a few hundred feet of road frontage there. So yeah, oh well, it is what it is, and but every now and then I get some weird stuff thrown in the yard.
Well, I can just imagine what might be thrown in the yard, because of all places, in the back parking lot of our church, you just wouldn't believe what I found back there, if you can just imagine, in the dark. Anyway, I was going to mention, well, if you could get a license plate number of them, I'd call the school, tell them, look, what happened, and if they don't want to be put on a detail from the police department to pick up trash for about a month, they better quit.
Yeah, that's it. We had a real good one. Had two teenagers drag racing. They were side by side, and unfortunately, one of them almost hit a big dump truck. My neighbor down the road has a dump truck company, and one of his big Macs was pulling out loaded, and next thing you know, they're over in the woods, and the state trooper went down there and had a long chat with the principal about how deadly that could have been.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Well, when you're a kid, you don't think of anything like that happening, and it wouldn't happen to you. You know how that is. But, it's really crazy. Now, I'll tell you another story. One of the guys, it's a long person. He just had belonged to the church for a long time. Worked, in a lot of the helps programs there at church. He was killed by two kids drag racing on Del Prado over here about 2 months ago. And I'll tell you what, That was really bad.
Yeah, that is sad. Yeah, and so many times these kids, it's like their brains are turned off. And unfortunately, it's not all their fault in today's society. Those parents just turn them loose, and there's no no rules in school at all now, like we had. My gosh, if we would have did a burnout leaving school, that'd been the last time we would have drove to school. We've been banned from driving.
Yeah, we had the same thing. W4 beat TJ. This is W8KZT. Yeah, we had the same thing, and yeah, I don't recall. Actually, I don't recall anybody doing burnouts coming out of our school because of that. Because I mean, a lot of those guys that did drive, they depended on being able to drive because they went to work after school or right in the middle of school, and they left and went to work. And that's what I did. I left after like 2 or 3 periods, and I was done for the day as a senior. So I went to work. So yeah, we didn't do that.
Well, my junior and senior year was like that. As soon as I got my classes done, I went down to Sears there in Tri-County Mall and worked. I worked there for 5 years.
No kidding. I'll bet you 10 and 1 we probably crossed paths numerous times and didn't even know it.
Yep. Yeah, I worked in the housewares department, men's clothing, and the furniture department. My last job was the furniture department.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, I miss Sears. I miss Sears so much. It's just unbelievable. I always loved their stuff. I'll bet I've got every tool they ever made, hand tools and that stuff, and just had imagine about everything. It was nothing for me to go over there about every paycheck and buy something. And if you ever saw my garage full of tools, you'd know I was there. So if somebody else broke in there, we're still open. We're not on the net, but we're open. This is W8KZT. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell you a story about shopping at Sears when my daughter was a little kid, and she would, as soon as we hit the door, she would take off, and I would play heck trying to find her. So Sonia worked in the garden, and Roy worked in the tools. So I set it up with them one day, where when my daughter Melanie came into the store with me and took off, they would watch her, and I would stay 1 or 2 aisles away until the panic set in. And as about 20 minutes, you could hear her going, "Dad? Dad?" And they would point to where she was without her noticing. And finally it got louder and louder and louder, and next thing you know, the tears started. And after that, every time I went to Sears, she stayed right by my side.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm surprised she didn't hide under one of the clothing racks or something like that and do that. But Tim, did you catch that?
No, I can't hear that station.
That's John, am I correct?
Yeah, this is John.
Yeah, it's John out here. Matt Lachey, he was saying he used to go to Sears a lot and took his daughter in there, and she'd run away from him, and go into the I guess the little girls department or whatever, and she'd hide, or actually not hide, but go around there, but she would run off from him, and he'd let her go and keep an eye on her, but the other people would watch her also. But then after a little while, it set in that he wasn't around, and then she'd get to the point where she'd be panicking after a while.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've watched many children for the parents there while they go shopping. Yeah, because the kids department was right across from housewares, And yeah, since I was a young man there, and mostly older people in the department were busy, yeah, I'd watch the kids, and right around the corner was a restaurant, and sometimes I'd just take them in there and let them have an ice cream or a soda, and yeah, because they'd let me do that in the store. Our store manager was a great guy. Wish he was still alive today. I'd still be in touch with him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you catch that, John?
Negative.
Oh yeah, Tim worked for Sears, and he was just telling us about seeing the kids get lost in there, and he'd take some of the kids that actually were lost out to get ice cream and everything like that next to the store, and then bring them back and they find them. So yeah, he had all kinds of stories for that. So anyway, it's a shame you can't hear Tim, and John, you can't hear Tim, and Tim can't hear John. So we'll definitely do some relaying here.
Well, do you do much POTA?
I've not. I've got probably 99.9% of the stuff to do it, but I've just never done it.
I really enjoy it. When the band's open, it's a blast. I got Nibia the other day in Africa on 10 meters, loud and clear. On a POTA, I was doing a POTA activation, and he was hunting me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, Tim, he was saying he got Nibia out in Africa the other day, and a great contact at a POTA. So this is the other John that John was talking about for going out and working with on POTA activations there, Tim.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, well, it's fun wherever we can get those really distant stations there. It's like making contact with Western Australia. Yeah, 11,000 miles away. You really get a big head when you make that contact.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, Tim was saying it's like getting a contact with Australia, 11-some thousand miles away, and yeah, it's a pretty big rush when you get those kind of contacts there, John.
Yeah, roger that. Today I got a little over 250 contacts. I activated Babcock, US 62901, and I got over 250 contacts.
Wow, Tim, John got over 250 contacts up at Babcock and Webb Park today, and that's US 6291. And boy, he had a heck of an outing today.
Yeah, I saw him up there. Yeah, I saw him on POTUS spots there. Yeah, really good. Congratulations to him. He was a busy man.
Yeah, Tim says congratulations, and he did see you on the POTA website. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that you can look that up and hunt people like that. I got that on my phone, so it works pretty neat there, John.
Is that Whiskey 6, triple whiskey?
No, this is W4BTJ.
Oh, roger that. My record, I think, over there is over 300.
Wow. Tim, he says his record over there is over 300 contacts. Man, that's really humping. But, yeah, Tim is the one, W4BTJ, the one that's got the radio and everything. He said as soon as he gets to feeling a whole lot better here, that he's wanting to do some of the POTA activations.
Well, if he needs some help, all he's got to do is let me know. I go out just about every day. I usually take maybe one day off, sometimes 2 days. My mom and my sister are going back on the 5th, and they're down in Bonita, so I'll probably definitely do 6 days a week. I've been doing a lot of K Acosta 1846, and I have a kilo in K Acosta now of over 1,000 contacts, and that's only accessible by boat. So back to Rick.
Yeah, roger that. All right, well, I'll definitely mention it to Tim, and Tim John has given you the open door for if you ever want to go along and do some POTA activating. he'd be more than willing to help out on there. How about that, Tim?
Yeah, thank you. I might take him up on that sometime in the future, or just go over and sit and watch him operate a POTA station. That'd be interesting.
Well, yes, it would be. He says it'd be interesting just to even go sit and watch you, John. So, but he said, John says that he's going out probably at least 6 days a week doing POTA activations. So, I don't know. What would be the best way of us getting a hold of you, John?
My number, 239-300-5343. Textable also. If you want to start a thread and I'll tell you where I'm going, we can do that too. A lot of times I do one in the morning early. I'll go out to KO, and that's usually done. I usually leave before the sun comes up most of the time. But and then usually the afternoon I'll do Babcock. But it's whenever. You guys can even pick another park, and I'll help you. I mean, I can set up my antenna, and I'll disconnect my antenna, and you can hook it up to your radio. Or is Tim a tech or a general? Back to Rick.
Yeah, he's a general class. So yeah, he's been a radio operator for a long time, and yeah, he's a pretty good operator. But anyway, yeah, Tim, he says he does some AM in one location, in the PM he sometimes goes up here to Babcock. So I don't know, that's a pretty good ride for you, but that may be a good place just to meet, for the afternoon or something like that, just to sit there and watch them there. How do you think there, Tim?
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, if get an afternoon there and see he's on there, maybe get his phone number there, and I'll give him a call. And yeah, if it works for him, I could work for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe we can all get together at the same time. I've got his phone number, so I'll text it to you.
Also, if he just wants to come up and see what's going, I don't mind letting him sit in behind my radio and take over. It gives me a chance to eat some pretzels and have a soda. Because you definitely get tired of saying CQ POTA, CQ POTA, CQ Parks on the Air. This is November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel, CQ Parks on the Air.
Yeah, buddy. You ought to have one of those automatic CQers. So that'd be pretty neat. Might give you a break there. But yeah, he said he doesn't mind at all having you come up to him and maybe even sit in and give him a break for a few. So that might work out pretty good.
Yeah, maybe me and you could meet up and you go with me.
Yeah, I'm all for it. It all depends on what day it would be. But I know I got a few doctor's appointments here. Not just doctors, but, for my legs and just the general stuff. But other than that, a lot of times I'm free. Deb won't be home till the 3rd, so might be a good time.
Hey,
yeah, we could do that. And both of us get a little more familiar with how POTA activation works. See it in action.
What you do and how you log and all that, and to see the different ways and that kind of stuff. And then you just basically set up your own routine, and that's what seeing John did for me. Back to you.
Roger that. Okay, well, Tim, you doubled with John there. But anyway, okay, yeah, you can get it all set up, and we'll do that. So what did you say there, Tim, while he was on?
Oh, nothing. I just was talking there. Be fun. Yeah, we'd get up there and may just learn a little something. Roger
that. Well, there's nothing we can do but learn. So that's what he was talking about there, John. We're definitely there to learn. So, yeah, I'm in the middle of texting Tim your phone number, and we'll get something lined up here.
Yeah, why don't you set a group text up and put in it POTA activation as the first group text, and that way I can just tell you all where I'm going, and if you show up, you show up. If you don't, the other day, John showed up, and we posted a picture on the FMARC private group, and you know, it really made my day to see him pull in there.
Oh yeah, well, we'll definitely do that. Yeah, we're going to probably Tim will do a group text and label it POTA activation, and make sure we can get everybody in the right direction and where to head out to and what time.
Roger that. Well, anyway, I'm going to call it a day. I had an early day and always enjoy the net and always enjoy talking to anyone. So this is November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel. I'll be clear on your final.
Roger that, John. Well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Good to talk to you, as always. And, yeah, we'll be looking forward to doing this. That'd be a lot of fun. So we'll get Tim up there, and we'll have a good outing. So have a great evening, and we'll talk to you soon. This is W8KZT, and we'll turn it back over to W4BTJ.
Hey, one additional comment. Am I net control next Thursday? Is it back to me in the cycle?
No, Charles will be doing net control next week, and then he'll be offering it up to whoever wants to volunteer for the following week.
Roger that. I didn't know this week if it was me. I came running in the door and printed the script out, and then I heard you come on at 1 minute of, and I said, it's not me. So anyway, you have a great week. Text me anytime. November 6th, Juliet Delta Hotel's clear.
Roger that, John. We'll do that. Thanks so much for coming in, and we'll do that. Okay, back to you there, Tim. W4BTJ, W8KZT.
Yeah, very good there. W8KZT, W4BTJ. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do that soon with John. That might be pretty fun just to figure out a little more of it and have some professional help.
Yeah, what would really be good, we get AA4JS up there along with us, and also his name's John, and also this John, and all four of us, and we'll have a pretty good time. I think it'd be an excellent learning experience.
Oh yeah. I was talking to a gentleman there from your neighborhood up north, from Westchester there. He was out at Cowan Lake doing a POTA activation.
Yeah, who was that?
I'd have to look through my logbook. It was a few days ago.
Was he from Westchester area or what?
Yeah, from Westchester. Gosh, it goes way back. I'll look.
All right. Yeah, last time I was up at Cowan Lake, there was a guy that played golf with my dad, had a place up there, and he wanted to get rid of a bunch of pine trees. He was going to run a road back to his place. And I went up there and I loaded up, I think, it was either 6 or 8 pine trees I put on the back of this trailer and brought them back and gave them to all kinds of people. And man, I'm telling you, them pine trees, they grew up to be the biggest things you ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, last time I was up to Cowan Lake, went up there, they got a beautiful campground. And it had one of those high-lows, with the hydraulic lift. And really used to enjoy that campground.
Yeah, it was a very nice area. Remote and quiet. That was what was nice.
Yep. And when they were building Caesars Creek, used to go down and check out some of the old houses that was at the bottom of the lake before it filled with water.
Yep. We used to go up there, and we took the boat up there. We used to go up there. We used to ride our motorcycles up there just to go to the boat ramp and watch all the fun action.
Yeah, you see some pretty good boat fails at that lake.
I'll tell you, we never laughed so hard in our life sometimes. I mean, it was hilarious. Then you remember East Fork?
Oh, yeah. I remember when they built that one.
Yep. Well, when they were grading it down on the bottom and getting a bunch of stuff out of there, which they didn't get a whole lot. I mean, they left a ton of trees and stuff like that in there. We were allowed to ride our motorcycles, our dirt bikes. So we took them out there, and we were riding all day. And we came upon this real hill back in this remote area, and it was a steep son of a gun. And not a one of us was able to make this hill. We'd go up and slide back down, and we were having a heck of a time. Finally, all got wore out, but this one guy had this RM400, and he says, I'm going to make this hill. And he's a big boy, and we got the biggest kick out of this. All of a sudden, he revs up and flies up the hill. He gets about 3/4 of the way up there, and he flips it over and lands on his side, and the bike's landing next to him. And he's just kind of just laying there, just trying to get his composure. And all of a sudden, here comes the game warden. Never forget this guy's name. His name was Jerry Camp. And he was the game warden out there. And he says, all right, boys. He says, I used to ride these bikes and do all this kind of stuff. And, you know, you ain't supposed to be above these. They had a bunch of, like, ribbons or something, but there wasn't a ribbon right where we were doing. So we were not supposed to go above that. Well, Jack was the only one on the hill. And so he says, all right, well, hey, you, come on down here. He says, get down here, and we need to talk. So Jack gets down the hill, and first thing he says is, after he told us that he rode dirt bikes, he says, all right, boys, hand me over the keys to your bikes. We all look at each other, and we start laughing, and he says, well, what do you think's so funny? We said, well, we thought you said you rode dirt bikes. And he says, well, I do. We said, he said, well, why are you asking for keys to a magneto-driven bike?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. By the way, that guy from Westchester was KJ8MRH, Mark Henriksen, HINRICHSEN.
Okay, no, I don't think I know him. KJ8MRH. Doesn't ring a bell right off.
Yeah, he said he is a member of the club there in Westchester and everything. So, yeah, we had a little discussion for a bit. Interesting young man.
Yep, all right. So he's a member of WC8 VOA, huh?
Yeah, Ricky is. That's what he was saying. So, yeah, I asked him if he knew you, and he couldn't think of you off the top of his head either. But he'd been a member there for about 6 or 7 years, he said.
Well, he probably became a member after COVID. And I was a member before COVID hit, and then left after COVID, So I was no longer involved with the club. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, he said 6 or 7 years. That would have been before COVID. But how active, who knows?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, when I was going to their club meetings and stuff like that, there was hardly any participation there. I mean, I was pretty unhappy with the whole thing. It just seemed like if you weren't part of the initial clique right off, I kind of felt like an outsider.
Yeah, that's what happens. So many organizations, they don't include people. But that's one of the things I really like about that little club up there in Ohio. My gosh, they include everybody. And they try to keep you radioactive, if you know what I mean.
Yep, they sure do. Well, I know the Westchester group, they always had some great field outings. and by field outings, what they'd do is set up tents around the old Voice of America location there, and they'd have, just an outing, and it was pretty good. I mean, they had some pretty good turnout then, but, unless they did something like that, they didn't have too much. But, no, I ran into Denny, which was a previous, president of the Westchester Amateur Radio Club, and he was at not the swap shop, but the Fort Myers Amateur Radio Club Hamfest. And so I ran into him, and we got to talking quite a bit. So we've had a few conversations since then. So I also got him hooked up with a nice little radio because he had won a door prize, and some other lady had won one of the Bofang radios that she didn't want. So I got him hooked up with her, and he swapped with her what he had won. So he got him a nice little radio he was able to use out of his camper down there in by your area. Matter of fact, he had a nice RV that he had down there.
Oh, very good. That was a good thing there. Yeah, both of them became winners of what they might want then.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, Denny's calls WB8BXG. So if you ever hear him in there, tell him you know who you're talking about.
Okay, I just jotted it down here on my pad. Yeah, okay. All right, well. Yeah, well, I kind of like the idea of just getting together and maybe going out and checking out a POTA activation. I don't know how active I'd be right now, but hey, as I start feeling better, you got to do more. You got to get out and do things.
Well, I think the more you get out and do things, I think the better you might just feel. I mean, that's what I try to tell myself, and some days I feel a whole lot better, and then after a little while, I pay for it. But anyway, hey, I got a good one from Deb here just a few minutes ago. It says, the older I get, the meaner I get. I'm pretty sure it won't be long before I start biting people.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, really, she's a pit bull in disguise.
Oh, well. Yeah, you're the lucky one who has to tame her and keep her at bay there.
Hey, if I haven't done it by now, it'll never happen.
Roger that. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I had a message from Harry there earlier. I never looked at it, and I don't have my phone here to take a peek. I saw he sent me something. When I walked by my phone, I heard it ding, and his name would come up on the screen, but I didn't pick it up and look.
Yeah, occasionally he sends me some attachments on some things, but I always send him information on ARRL. So I don't think he belongs to ARRL for some reason, but I send him what I send you. Hopefully you get those, but I send you. Is that right?
Oh yeah, you send them to me, and I look through them every time you send them. I was talking with Harry, and he was talking about the expense of being an ARRL member. From when he, of course, he's been a ham operator for 50 years, but now he's retired. I imagine he has to take things into consideration now.
Yes. Yep, he's right. And you know what? The ARRL's losing a lot of people because of what they've done, and just because of what's happening. Plus, the fact that a lot of these guys are passing on, and they're becoming silent keys, and those people just will not be back. So they're losing a lot of the people daily. So their roster's diminishing instead of growing.
That's Roger there. Yeah, and it's the thing. I mean, I kind of just give up on it because I can never get my LOTW or to ever work, or it's like it's all a waste.
Yep, that's right. Well, I've really contemplated not re-upping again. It really helps the club if you do re-up, and it keeps their status, up with the ARRL. But I'm to the point where, I used to love getting QST magazines and reading them and keeping them around and reading them. There was much more to it than this stuff you get on the phone now, or what everybody would get on the computer. And I don't know. It's lost its flair to me. So, I don't know. It's kind of strange. And I guess CQ magazine's no longer in existence.
Yep. Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about it. It's just, I'm retired, and there's so many other things that I'm constantly putting out money for. We just had to put in a new air conditioning system for inside and out units, both in the house here. And the day we got that news, the wife's car was in the shop. And they called and said, the $1,000 you originally was expecting, you're going to have to add $900 to that. So then we approved that, and now they've had it even longer, so I'm afraid it's going to get even worse.
What are they doing to it?
Her intake manifold was cracked. I reckon the throttle body had to be replaced, and there's all sorts of stuff that was wrong with the intake.
Boy, I find it hard to find that the throttle body was bad, unless it was cracked. I mean, it would have to overheat dramatically for the throttle body to be warped or something like that. But that's kind of strange that they had an intake that's cracked. Was it a plastic intake?
Oh yes, one of those B6 Nissans, plastic intake.
Yeah, buddy. I've seen a few of them, but I've never seen one crack. I mean, but I did. We worked on projects like that for torquing those things down, and plastic, that type of material, is so susceptible for over torquing and stuff like that with people that don't know what they're doing, and they can crack rather easily.
Yeah, it had a vacuum leak. Couldn't get the RPMs down. So, oh well. Yeah, that thing would idle at 900 RPMs, and I just couldn't keep going with it. So, put it in the shop, and next day the air conditioner died.
Gee, I'll tell you, it's like you're turned in the barrel for months. But man, yeah, that would be pretty annoying. That just really gets me that intake was cracked. But I mean, 900 RPMs really is not that bad. It depends on what the normal operating RPM is. I would say at idle it should have been close to 800. Isn't that right?
I think that V6 was 700 was what it called for, but yeah, it just run pretty fast. So, and she had to stand on the brakes at the intersection. So, little thing's got a lot of power. So I figured, hey, she likes the car, and it's a whole lot better to fix it than to buy her a new one, especially with her vision, if you know what I mean. So couldn't see going out and paying $50,000 for a new vehicle, and it's set in the garage. Yeah,
I'm with you there. W4BTJ, W8KZT. Yeah, Yeah, I can certainly understand that. I mean, I got a 20-year-old Durango here, and I've got an issue with coolant leaking into the exhaust, and that's only because of what I did. Because I probably told you this before, but they're inherent for breaking off exhaust manifold bolts. And for some reason, I guess it was just this motor, the 4.7, and it's an 8-cylinder. So anyway, both sides had broken bolts, and here I got a call from our daughter and son-in-law that they're going to go to Myrtle Beach and want to use my car. So I quickly fixed it without replacing one of the bolts on there, which that didn't cause an issue. But when they got back, I wanted to take it apart. I took it all apart again, and on the left side, the driver's side, you have to deal with a whole bank of anti-lock brake manifolds and all that. So it was very hard to get in there and work and be able to get the manifold back and away from the head itself, and trying to get that stud out. All the other ones I was able to get out with absolutely no problem, but this one in the right rear. And so I was doing everything in the world to try to get it out. And I thought, well, I'll just drill it, in the center, drill it. So I started drilling it, and it was going in, but it wasn't going in really good. So I decided to put a little more pressure on it. And as soon as I did that darn drill bit flew off to the left side and went right into the block. I mean, just like that, and barely penetrated that block. And darn it if it didn't hit the coolant jacket in there, and it started leaking coolant. So now, right at that point, I went ahead and fixed it temporarily with putting a material in there that would really just clog it up pretty good. But what I think happened over just a little period of time is that the coolant ate that material, and now it leaks again. So I got to put quite a bit of coolant in there, probably about a quart of coolant maybe every couple of weeks if I drive it enough. But that's pretty annoying, and it smells. So everybody probably thinks the thing's leaking and getting ready to burn up while I'm driving down the road.
Yeah, W8KCT, W4BTJ. Yeah, it's, so is it iron block or is it aluminum? What is it?
Oh, it's definitely aluminum. And the thing is, and what I don't understand at all, is why they put Loctite on a steel stud into an aluminum engine. Should have never had to do that. And that became the biggest problem, is that Loctite has locked it up pretty good. The others, I was able to easily remove them, and had I known they had the Loctite on them to start with, and because that was the first one I tried to get, it broke off. I thought, oh boy, I better watch this. I would have heated up the motor and then taken it out, taking it all apart. But I didn't know that, so now I'm paying for it. So what I'm going to try to do here, as soon as I can get my legs to work properly and not kill my back, I'll get in there and I'll take that manifold off again and rework it with some epoxy type material and make it really good and hard in there. But it's just, boy, I'll tell you, it's just a bear getting in there.
Any way you could weld it?
Well, my welder that I have is capable of doing aluminum welding, but I have to do a major conversion on it to do it. So, it could be, but I'd have to probably take it to someplace that could do that. That'd cost me a fortune. It'd be easier for me to pull the motor and do it and take it someplace to have it welded. And I've considered doing that.
Roger. Yeah, maybe, I wish I still had my flatbed trailer. I had a nice flatbed. We could have put it up on a flatbed and took it to a welding shop, had it welded, and bring it back home, put it back together.
Yep. Well, if I need to, I can go down to either U-Haul or go to Home Depot and rent a trailer, throw it on there. But wouldn't take much. But then I'd have to rent an engine puller, engine hoist. So I don't know. For as much as it cost me in the coolant and everything, after a little while, it may be a good idea to go ahead and fix it. But for now, I think I'm just going to let it go until I get to feeling better.
Roger that. Yeah, it's always something we got to deal with, isn't it? And they always break down when you don't feel like fixing them.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're under the gun and have to have it fixed. That's what I always liked. And, have to pull 4 or 5 hours into the night to get something working right. So, done that numerous times, and thank goodness it all worked out fine. So, I'm just glad I've got the tools I've got to do what I can.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, I bought the Denso plugs and coil packs for my car, and well, that's been a while, and good thing I got them. I mean, it's time to put them in, but having the energy to get out there and pull it all apart, drop them down in there, it ain't that big of a job, at least.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Now, if you ever need help doing that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. I'll tell you what, I put eco plugs in mine. Now, I have 174,000 miles on that Durango. And I think I put those plugs in. These are only the second set of plugs. And I think I put them in at 75,000 miles. Ain't touched them since. I've never had to change a coil pack on it or nothing.
Yeah. I did get a warning that one of my, I think, number 4 coil pack misfired one day, but it started running fine afterwards. But we'll have to see. That's why I went ahead and bought all the stuff. It's you don't want to be caught with your pants down. And my gosh, if I would have went to the dealer and asked them to put iridium plugs and Denso plugs and coil packs in, they would have asked me $800 for the stuff just for parts.
Yep. Yeah. The big problem is with those guys is that they see you coming. And if you need something, and especially if you need it in a hurry, you're doomed.
Roger that. Yep, that's it. Yeah, you need it in a hurry. That's why the dealer or guy's got the wife's car, and we're in no rush. You fix it as you need to. Just call us before you're going to spend any of our money.
Yep. I'll tell you, my neighbor that rides a V-Rod, talk about a sharp V-Rod. You'd like this. It is awesome. Anyway, he's got that V-Rod, and he's got one of these big money wasted SUVs, and one of the big ones. And boy, he's had trouble with water pumps and stuff like that. Had to have it done twice. I guess the guys that did it took care of it the second time, but I think no, I don't think they did. Matter of fact, because it was a faulty part that he had brought to them. Boy, did he get raked. And so I took him down there when he dropped it off and